happens when you take grapefruit that I got from an urban farm and a little bit of fire, you get grapefruit brûlée French toast.
The great thing about growing a miniature fruit tree is that you can grow it anywhere. A lot of times in the gardens that I build, I'll like to put an orchard in there. In an urban environment, you can struggle for space sometimes, so I'll plant miniature trees. In some cases, grapefruit trees and fig trees, so they can fit into the space. Kids can watch them grow, and they get the thrill of seeing things up close.
Join me as I take the best of urban farms and cook it up right in my food truck.
Welcome to the Downtown Farmer. I'm your chef, L'Oreal Gavin.
I'm your farmer, Randy Ryan.
So any awesome French toast is gonna have syrup with it, right? Well, in this case, I like to utilize the local honey that I got from the urban farm, and I add a little bit of a twist to it, some fresh rosemary. I'm gonna get some honey out of my little honey pot. Actually, honey never goes bad either, which is super cool, right? Just a little rosemary goes right into the pan with the honey. We're gonna warm it up on medium heat for about 5 to 10 minutes, just enough time for those essential oils to leach into the honey. Any good French toast starts with old bread. You actually need a dried out, older piece of bread so it can soak up the batter. But let's go ahead and get the batter started. It starts with farm fresh eggs. Go ahead and crack your eggs right into the bowl. These eggs are going to act as a protein, and they're gonna coagulate the French toast, giving it that firm body, and it's also gonna help brown on the flat top. The next thing that you're gonna wanna add to this mixture is cinnamon, and give it a really good healthy whisk. Next in the ingredient list, granulated sugar. A little bit of Himalayan sea salt, gonna open up all those flavors. And vanilla beans, love them, gotta have them. The flavor of a real vanilla bean is gonna set your dishes apart. Just go ahead and scrape it out at a 45-degree angle with your knife. That's a lot of ooey gooey vanilla bean. So we're gonna give it another healthy whisk. Don't forget to save these. You can soak them in brandy and bourbon to make your own vanilla extract. We've got our eggs, we've got our sugar, a little bit of salt, and our fresh vanilla bean in there. We're gonna add the heavy whipping cream, whisking as we go. We've got enough batter for a really healthy portion of French toast.
The great thing about container gardening is that you can control the soil. You're not worried about what toxins or poison might be inside of the ground. You can add the kind of things that a soil needs to be beneficial to the plant. And when you eat the plant, you know that all the nutrients that went into that plant were coming from soil that you controlled.
So we've got our dried out bread, so all we need to do is make it take a little bath in there. Can you see the little air bubbles that are popping out? That means that it's actually soaking up the mixture. Usually takes about 30 seconds to get it nice and soaked. I'm gonna give it a little shake here so I get some of the residuals off, and then these are gonna go right on the flat top with some butter. Let's see how our flat top's doing. I've got my honey infused with my rosemary. I've taken it off the heat, so I'm gonna go ahead and add some cold, unsalted butter to the flat top. And if you don't have a flat top at home, you can use a nice saute pan with a heavy bottom. You're gonna wanna keep it at medium heat so the egg within the French toast batter has time to get golden brown and actually cook thoroughly. All right, so let's go ahead and add our first piece of French toast and see how it's gonna do. When you set it down, just like so. Beautiful. It's amazing how much butter that these little guys soak up too. So of course, I'm gonna need some citrus fruit. In this case, I found these grapefruit. They were so beautiful, I got to pick them myself. So I'll show you how to brûlée. Brûlée just means burnt, but in this case, it's a really good thing. What you need to do is look at your grapefruit, remove the top and the bottom so that the flesh is exposed. Look how beautiful that is. I'm gonna carefully remove the pith on the outside because we don't want that to be the showcase of the recipe. We wanna expose the beautiful, bright flavors of this amazing grapefruit. And I try to use slow, fluid movements when I'm doing this also. That way I'm not tearing the flesh of the grapefruit. So look at that. There's no peel, it's ready to brûlée. I'm cutting these relatively thick because first off, I think they're beautiful, right? And it's really gonna stand up to that brûlée crust that I'm gonna add in just a couple moments with the granulated sugar.
There's a movement to get more veterans involved in farming because it develops a new skill for them in the transition outside of the military. There are therapeutic benefits like getting your hands in the dirt and the communication skills that is essential to making a successful farm or garden and to still feel like they are serving, which is so important to all veterans like myself.
You know the French toast is ready to flip when you've been cooking them on medium-low heat. You can kind of hear them getting crisped up, and when I ever doubt myself, I'll just give a little lick-see and see where they're at. I'd rather them be a little underdone than burnt. So I'm gonna bring these over here. I'm not warming these up. I just need a nice surface to put the granulated sugar on, just as you would to the top of a creme brulee if you're about to finish it. I'm using a healthy amount of granulated sugar so I can get that iconic burnt taste, thus Brûlée. This flame is super safe and easy to use. There's an on and off switch. It's actually self-lighting. I use it for tons of things around the house. It's great to light a grill with, especially propane. I'm basically just wanting to take this sugar to the point where it has a nice crust and a caramelization of flavor. Look at that. You can also mimic this technique using the broiler in your oven. You just need to watch it really closely. You'll know you've achieved that perfect browned brulee texture when you dip into this with your fork to eat this French toast and you hear that crunch. It's so satisfying. Now this is breakfast reinvented. So now I'm gonna finish this dish with rosemary and honey. It's like a walk through the woods, super piney. It's gonna go amazing with the brulee grapefruit. Oh yeah. Check this out. This is grapefruit brulee French toast. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Might as well go ahead and give me a like because I know you're gonna love it. Subscribe to the channel. Ask any questions, I'm gonna answer them for you. I'm Chef L'Oreal Gavin, cooking with my heart. Thanks for watching. See you next time.